Welcome back to the Crochet Credits. That's my friends at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host, Mikey. Today we're going to demonstrate the Pinstripe with C2C. This is color strategy. There's also color strategy in when you decide to determine to make it into a square or a rectangle, which I'll cover today. And I'll also add a simple little border. This is a really neat concept, and what I want to do is create these lines that are appearing here. This took me several tries to be able to do, and I realized that there's a line that is in the middle, and it really looks to me like pinstripes. Let's begin this process. So let's begin. I'm using a 5mm size H crochet hook. You can decide to use any yarn you wish, as long as the yarn complements the hook. So we're going to do this in regular traditional format, and then I will show you what you need to change in order to get it. So you want to chain 6, but watch how I do it. So 1, 2, 3, pinch, 4, 5, 6. Where I've pinched is the first stitch. So yarn over, move your thumb back to expose the chain that you're pinching, and you're going to double crochet that one, plus the 2 more that you have. And this will be your beginning box and your beginning corner. Just like that. So now you're going to turn your work, and we're going to begin row number 2. Let's begin row number 2. Whenever you're expanding out, whether it's a rectangle or a square, and you're going on both sides, you're going to start the same way every time. So you'll chain 6. So just go 1, 2, 3, pinch, 4, 5, 6. Right where you're pinching is the first one, so just move your thumb back. And you want to double crochet that one, plus the 2 others that are on the chain. You're going to notice that the first box is kind of twisted on you. That's not unusual. So if that's happening to you, don't flip out. I'll show you how to reorientate yourself, because it is a natural thing. So it kind of flipped around. So I'm sitting behind the camera right here. So I want to flip this so that this is facing towards me. And you were going to just open the space between this space chain here and the post, and you were going to slip stitch in. Now the way that I do the outside boxes when I'm finishing a row is different from regular C2C, so I'm going to create an anchor. So I'm going to chain 3. Normally you would put 3 double crochets into the space, but I find the alignment looks off, so I'm only going to do 2 double crochet. And then the third one, I'm still going to do it, but I'm going to put it into the chain work here, and this will anchor it. So just grab it into a chain somewhere there, and that will hold that last double crochet so it's on the outside edge to keep it nice and flat. We're now going to begin the next row. So let's turn our work and begin row number 3, and we will be pinstriping on this row. In my sample, I want the starting box and the last box of each of the sides to always be flat and full. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to increase. So I want to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, pinch, 4, 5, 6. With the one you're pinching, just move your thumb back so you can access it, and you are going to double crochet that one plus the 2 others that you have. So it'll always be the same count. So it's always technically 3 double crochet that you're putting in to the chain. Now you're going to flip it up, so this should be facing towards you. Flip it up and see the last space here before this. You were going to slip stitch. So now you're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I want you to treble into this whole space right here. And so you wrap the hook twice and just go into the whole space, and going in, pull through 2, 2, and 2. Then you're going to come up to the next box right here, and you are going to slip stitch in. This would be the last box on this row, so you're just going to chain up 3 and do it like I suggested before. So 2 double crochet first is in, and then the third one is at the anchor spot to hold it on the outside edge. Like that. So I bet you're thinking to yourself, well, you see 2 strands there and not just 1, because this will bend over like this and just expose this line to sit by itself in the future. Let's turn our work and let's do the next 3 rows. So there will be 3 rows that exist in between the pinstriping that you'll see. The first time you do the first row after pinstriping is unique compared to the other 2. Watch how you're going to do it. So you're going to increase on both sides. So you're just going to chain up 6, pinch after the 3rd one, 4, 5, 6, and just coming in back. Okay, so once that's in, flip it up. This should be towards you, and just come into the space right here and slip stitch. You're going to chain up 3, so it's regular C2C, and use the same space to put in 3 double crochet. So you don't need to anchor anything that is not an edge box. Now, do you see how this is kind of coming up like this? This is where your next box technically is. So you're just going to slip stitch around this chain 5 space, chain 3, and then use the remaining of that space to put in 3 more double crochet. And so that holds that stitch or that space with this row, exposing just the one line to be on its own. Once you get up here, you're going to slip stitch and create the edge box. So you'll chain up 3 double crochet, or sorry, 2 double crochet, with the 3rd one being an anchor. And so this would be considered one of 3 rows that will be existing between the pinstripes. So let's turn our work and do another. So to do another row, you're just going to chain up 3 and pinch 4, 5, 6, and just expose it and just put in your first box. So you'll always chain up 6 whenever you're doing an increase and adding a box. So this is regular C2C, so just flip it up like this. And so chain 3 and 3 double crochet will be in this box. So if you've done regular C2C, you know this already. So come on up, slip stitch, chain 3, and 3 double crochet that's in the space, and you'll do this all the way across. So I'm not going to keep showing this row over and over because it's the same information each time whenever you're doing a growth. And then eventually you'll come to the outside box next, and we're still increasing, so we're just going to go in and we're going to make a new box here. So chain 3, 2 double crochet into the space, and 1 into the anchor. So you can see now that there's 2 boxes. So you see pinstripe 1 and 2, so you need another one. So you're going to turn your work, chain 6, and then just do a whole nother solid row, just like you see. So please do that, and I'll be right back in a moment. So I'm at the end of the next row. So you can see that you have the pinstripe, 1, 2, 3 rows have been done. So when you turn the next row will be pinstripe. Here's some advice for you. Whenever you're ready to make the square finish off and you want the final one to go across, the pinstripe row would be the last one to do before you start doing the decrease. Also with the rectangle, same idea. So let's begin to do the next row, and we're going to pinstripe all the way across on this one. To do that, you're going to chain 6. So I'm not doing any decreases right now. And you are just going to start off as you normally would and put in your 3 double crochet back in to keep the outside box solid. Flip up and do this. So now you're ready to start pinstriping. To do that, you're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and treble around into this full space. So wrap the hook twice, pull through 2, 2, and 2. You are going to slip stitch to the next space up, so you got more to work with this time, and then pinstripe again. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then treble into the space. So the more pinstripes that are in a row, the more effective this looks. Slip stitch and keep on doing that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then treble, and keep adding. So the only box you're really truly paying attention to is the last box. And in this case, if it's a square or a rectangle and you're still making your project bigger, you're just going to continually add more boxes when you get to the top. Okay, and then you're going to come into this one and just finish this as you normally would. So chain 3, put 2 double crochet in, and then your third one is into an anchor. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just start you on the next row, but you have to do 3 rows again, so being solid, that is separating these, and then I'm going to be demonstrating then how to collapse a square, and then later on then a rectangle, and then we'll do a border together. So to start the next row and say I don't want to collapse anything yet, I want to keep growing out, I'm going to chain 6 and then pinch it and coming back in. I think I might have chain 7 there, but I'm not sure, but it's only chain 6. Somebody will call me out on it, I'm sure. Okay, so we're gonna do this. And so the last row below was a pinstripe, so we're just gonna start. So you're gonna chain 3. This box is as normal, so there will be 3 double crochet in it. Okay, see the chain 5 space, slip stitch around the space, chain 3, and then use the same space to put in 3 more double crochet. You keep doing that all the way across. Okay, just grab the next space, chain 5 space, slip stitch, chain 3, and 3 double crochet. Okay, and you can see the pinstripe has happened. Okay, so you're going to do this all the way across, and then what I'm going to do is that I will give you some verbal instructions, and I will do the remaining of it until I state, and then I'll be back to show you how to collapse a square, then after that. Okay, so I want to make it bigger, so I'm going to continue and add another square once I get to the other box. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to do the next 2 rows of the solids like I had before, and then I'm going to do 1 row of pinstriping, and therefore I'm going to show you how to degrease then into a square from that point. So the pinstriping should be the very last one before you decide that you're going to go and do the corner to corner. Same thing with the rectangle as well. So let me get that done, and I'll be right back in a moment. So I've now just finished doing the pinstripe. So I'm going to say to myself, okay, I'm happy with the width. And if you're not, just keep on going. Just make sure that after every third time you're doing these boxes that you add your pinstripe in. Make sure your pinstripe is part of the final of the absolute span of this. So if this was a rectangle, this is where you would want to be. And if it's a square, this is where you want to be. So later on, I'm going to frog back to this point for the rectangle. So now I'm going to start getting smaller, and this will allow it to have an equal balance on the way that it looks. To start decreasing, you're just going to grab your yarn here, and you're just going to slip stitch across the top of these boxes here, of these stitches, and don't go into a space like normal C2C here. I want you to go and anchor yourself right into the chain work, so it will hold the first chain 3 out to the exterior of the edge and make it look better. So now you're going to chain 3, and now you're going to work your way across. So it's like you already know what to do. The difference is how we started is that we've just eliminated out a box by doing that. Now you're going to go across your pinstripe like you already know it to be. So just slip stitch, chain 3, and 3 double crochet into that same chain 5 space. And then continuing along, just like that. Okay, so I want you to continue like you normally would have done it before, and I'll meet you close to the edge here just to make sure that you're finishing properly with doing a decrease on that side as well. I'll be right back. So I'm coming close to the top here. I don't want to expand anything beyond here to make it bigger, so my very last one will just be 3 double crochet into the final chain 5 space. You don't need to anchor because you're no longer building out an extra box. But you will want to anchor inside here. So usually they tell you to go into a space. It doesn't hold its shape as perfectly as it could, but if you go right into some chain work and slip stitch, it will hold that top right to the exact top of that. So now we're going to turn our work, and every time we're starting a new row, we're decreasing and we're getting smaller and smaller. So you will just slip stitch across the tops of all your double crochet that you've put in, and also anchor right into the chain work itself. In this case, we're not doing any pinstriping, so you'll start off the regular way, so chain 3 and double crochet 3 times into that space below. Okay, you'll come in, and then you're just going to continue with what you know. So I'll see at the end of this row, just make sure you're finishing it properly, and then you'll have to do one more row exactly the same way. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm getting close to the top of the square here, and so I'm just paying attention that this was my last square going in, so I'm going to chain 3 and then put 3 double crochets in and just anchor it with a slip stitch to the chain work on the box right beside it, so right at the top. So I want you to do one more row the exact same way. So slip stitch across. Okay, chain 3, 3 double crochet into the space, and then continue to do what I just showed you. Okay, so this is another solid one, and the pinstripe is after every 3 solid boxes. So this will be the 3rd row. So you're just going to work your way across and decrease when you get to the other side, which I've already shown you how to do. And then I'm going to show you the pinstripe in the decreased format. So 3 boxes are complete. I've counted like 1, 2, and 3. It's just easier. And now I'm ready for another pinstripe row. So I am going to do this in a decreased format. So I'm just going to work my way over. So I don't want to increase any more boxes. Like that, chain 3, and then put this as 3 double crochets so it's a solid box on the edge. We talked about that at the beginning of this video today. Slip stitch, and now you're going to start doing your pinstriping. So chain 5, and wrap twice and into the space, and carry on in this formation. So the difference is that once you get up to the top, the last box will be a solid box, and so I'll see you there in just a moment. So continue to pinstripe across. So I'm almost done, and I'm just trebling here. So I'm paying attention to which one is my last box, so I'm going to slip stitch here, and I have one last box to go in, so just treat it as normal. So chain 3, 3 double crochet into the space, and then slip stitch. So you're going to continue in the same formation then of decreasing. So you'll turn it, you'll decrease, so you'll slip stitch on over, and then just fill in your chain 5 spaces as you normally did before. And then you'll end on this box. So you'll do 3 rows of the solid box, and then you'll be back to the pinstripe. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll meet you on the 3rd last row of this blanket. Your eyes are not deceiving you. I ran out of my leftover yarn that I've been playing with, and I just attaching, and I'm going to decrease again. So I have 3 boxes, three rows complete. So I'm going to do the pinstripe again. So 1, 2, 3. So this will be the third last row. You're going to chain 3 double crochet in. So the way that I designed it is that your pinstriping would be exactly on a corner. So then you'll slip stitch and begin your pinstripe, so chain 5. And then come into the space, so just wrap twice with the treble. Slip stitch, and then this will be the last box. So 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochet into the final. Okay, you're going to slip stitch it to the top just to anchor it, and then you have a couple more rows left to turn your work, and you are going to slip stitch across like you have been right to the anchor spot. Chain 3. We're going to do 3 double crochet. Coming in, sorry, the cat's annoying today. So just then chain 3, fill in the chain 5 space with 3 double crochet. You're not coming up here. No. Get 3 double crochet. Shh. You don't need anything. So you're going to do that. So you have your 1 pinstripe that you see, and then your very last box, you're just going to slip stitch yourself to the anchor spot. Chain 3, and you'll do your last one. So 3 double crochet in, and then you'll do it to the anchor spot, and this is technically finished, but just for consistency, I'd like to turn it and just slip stitch myself right to the edge, just to make the edge look the same as everybody else. And therefore you're done. So you can add a border to this. It's really quite nice and easy, and it's a really neat concept. And what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to reverse back. I'm going to pull out until I have the pinstripe here, and then I'll show you how to do a rectangle at that point. So let's talk rectangle. So I've had to change my color because I know that I'm just using spare yarn and it won't be able to get to the end. So I've just changed my color now so that it stays consistent for when I'm showing you the decrease. In a rectangle, when we're building out on the square, you'll have the same amount of boxes on both sides, but you have to determine once you have the width that you would like to do, and it's the best, we're going to decrease on one side, and it's always a decrease here, and then on this side, it's always an increase until you're happy with the length of your entire rectangle. Once you're happy with the entire length, then you can start decreasing on both sides to then come to the point. Here's the thing, the way that I designed this is that the pinstripe will always be in a corner. So once you decide that you are happy with the width, stop so that the pinstripe is there. Then we're going to continue up, and you'll make your rectangle formation of just going up. And once you're happy then with the height, make sure the pinstripe is the last row to go in, and then you're going to start decreasing on both sides, and this will then allow you to stay equal on both sides. So you're still going to have your 3 boxes in a row that are solid, and then 1 is going to be pinstripe. So the pinstriping is where I'm going to pick up next. To start doing the reduction on this side only, so we're just right where we are, we're just going to slip stitch ourselves until we get to the anchor spot. Okay, so usually what they tell you in the old tutorials is just go right into the space. But if you go into the chain work itself, it holds it to the outside, and therefore it will not slide in to misshape your project. You're going to chain 3, and then you'll put in 3 double crochet into the same space. You're going to treat it like you did before, is that all these chain 5 spaces, you're just going to slip stitch, and then chain 3 and put 3 double crochet in. So it's still the same information, it's just how we started. We started off with the decreased because you can see that it now officially turned the corner. So this will no longer get wider in this direction. So now you're just going to slip stitch, chain 3 and 3 double crochet. So I will see you close to the end of this row and show you how to increase on the other side so that we can form that rectangle shape that you're desiring today. So let's show you that, and I'll be up here in just a few seconds. So I'm coming closer. So on this side here, I don't want to create a decrease because if I do it right now, it'll cause a square. And that's not where we are in the tutorial at this time. So you're just going to slip stitch to here, and you're going to add another box. So this will make this longer in this direction going up. You'll put in your 2 double crochet into the space and then 1 right into the anchor spot. Just like that. So one side we're increasing, this side we're decreasing. So we're going to turn our work, and there will be 2 rows that are always involved in the way that you start. So this side we want to continue to grow in this direction, so we're going to cause an increase, and this side we're always going to cause a decrease. But I still want you to maintain the box counts. So we're going to have 3 in a row, just like we did before. So we're just kind of maintaining with what we see. So we want the increase to happen, so we're going to chain 6. So pinch after the 3rd one. And so this is going to get longer in this direction. Okay, and then you're going to slip stitch, and you're just going to treat it like a regular C2C. Okay, so it's the solid boxes all the way across. And on the other side, we're going to do a decrease when we get there, and I'll show you how that's done in a few seconds. So just continue to move across with what you already know, and I'll be right back in a moment. As I'm getting closer to this side, I want the decrease to happen. We no longer want it to grow in this direction. We want to keep it so it's just stopping short, and you can see we already turned the corner before. So this is your last box, so you'll just chain 3 and put your 3 double crochet in, and then just anchor it to the top of the chain work up here. So you see, it's going to be awesome. So you're going to turn your work and do another row of solids. So it's like what you already know. You're just going to slip stitch yourself on this side because it's a decrease side. Go right to the anchor spot before you continue. Chain 3 and 3 double crochet in. And this is a regular double crochet row because we do want 3 rows of solid boxes in between the pinstriping. So you're going to go across, and when you get to the other side, you want to create an increase. So when you're on the other side here, you're going to go right to the last box, chain up 3, and then put your 2 double crochet into the space and then 1 into the anchor. And that's where I'm going to pick you up in just a few moments from now. Now that I have 3 boxes that are solid, I'm going to pinstripe. So on this side, I'm going to still increase, and this side I'm going to decrease, and you're going to continue to go as long as you want to go. So when it's a pinstripe row, okay, so you want to just increase and do what you need to do. So remember that the first and last boxes will always be a solid box, just for continuity, to make it a little bit nicer to look at. So flip it up and do this one, and then you're going to start doing your pinstripe. So chain 5, and then come right into the space with the treble. And then you're going to connect it. So you're going to continue and do what you already know. And when you're ready for a decrease, when your rectangle is long enough, that's where we're going to start next. And you have to make sure that the pinstripe row that we're doing right now is the very last row before you start decreasing on both sides at the same time, so that you have the continuity of the way the stitches look when they're together. And you'll end up so that the blanket or whatever you're making will be in balance with each other. So I'll see you close to the other side here in a moment. So I'm coming to this side, and I'm just going to make sure that the last box is a solid box. So just chain up 3 and put in 3 double crochet. So now I'm going to pretend that my rectangle is long enough in the other direction, and now I want to start in decreasing it to come to the point. So make sure your pinstripe is the last row, and then I'm going to demonstrate what we're going to do next so that we have a decrease on both sides at the same time. So let's do a decrease on both sides. So you're just going to slip stitch yourself. So the pinstripe is done in the last row. So slip stitch yourself to the anchor spot, chain up 3, and then in the same space below, put in 3 double crochet. And like you did before, the chain 5 space, just slip stitch, chain 3, and 3 double crochet into the same space. And you're going to work this all the way across, and then I'll meet you near the end of the row to make sure that you're decreasing on that side for the very first time. And I'll be right back in a moment. I'm coming close to the other side. I'm just keeping an eye on when I want to finish. So I'm going to finish in this pinstripe here, chain up 3, and then I just want to do 3 double crochet into this last chain 5 space here, and then that's it. So I don't want to increase any more on the other side. So I just want to slip stitch it to the top of the first chain 3 you started with, and that'll anchor it in. So now you've officially just turned the corner here. This one's already been turned, and now it's just a straight shot. I'm going back and forth. So now you're going to continue to decrease. When you start, you're going to finish on the box right here, and so you'll do 3 rows of these solids. So you already have 1 done, do 2 and 3, and then another pinstripe, and you're going to do this until you get closer to the end, and I'm going to meet you on the 3rd last row in just a moment. So continue to decrease at this point. So you're going to slip stitch, you're going to do your solids and whatever, and yeah, I'm over explaining, I'm mansplaining. Just shut up and turn off the camera. I'll be right back. I'm on my 3rd last row, and I do have my 3 solid boxes here, and this will be a pinstripe row again. Again, just keeping it in sequence with the way that I showed you. And we're going to do a decrease on this side and the other side, of course. And so you'll chain 3, and you will place in 3 double crochet there. Okay, you're going to come into the space here, and then you're going to do your pinstripe, so chain 5. So on this one here, the 3rd last one, there will only be 1 pinstripe here, and you're just going to attach, and this will be your last box. Just like that. And you're going to come in, and then you're going to turn your work, and you're just going to finish with solid boxes all the way now to the end. So just slip stitch yourself to where you need to go, to the top of the anchor. Okay, you're going to chain 3 and then place in 3 double crochet in. You're going to come in, so it's like what you already know, chain 3, and this will be your final box. Attach, and then one more time we're going to turn. It's your last box completely, and you are going to just continue along like that. Now you're going to chain 3 and put in 3 double crochet in. And then just to the anchor spot. And for consistency, even though you may be done and you may not want to border, I always just slip stitch myself to the anchor spot just to make the edging look the same. I'm going to cover on how to do border next. And so this would be what it would look like in a rectangular format. Okay, let's just zoom you out a little bit here. And it's neat. So let's do a quick little border, and I'm just going to change out my yarn, use something else, and I'll demonstrate that next. So let's do a quick little border right where you finished, or can be any corner for that matter. You were just going to just put it onto your hook and slip right into the corner, right into the anchor spot, and you're going to attach. So just slip stitch, chain 1, and put in a single crochet into the same spot, chain 3, and single crochet into the same spot again, and that'll be a full corner. And every corner that you'll have on this round will be 1 single crochet, chain 3, 1 single crochet. You're now going to chain 3 and see the spaces between the boxes. You can either slip stitch or single crochet into those spaces, and it will equally space out this. So chain up 3 and come into the next space. So I'm just going to single crochet because I think it looks better, but if you'd like to slip stitch, you can. And you're going to do this all the way until you get to the next corner, and then single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, and continue along and just play within the spaces between the boxes. And I'll be back in just a moment at the end of the round. So I'm coming all the way around. I've just chained 3, and I just want to slip stitch to the beginning single crochet that I started with. To start another round, and say you want it just to make it a little bit more solid, you can just slip stitch to the chain 3 corner, chain 3, and put in 2 more double crochet into that same spot. Chain 2 to turn, and in the same spot, 3 more double crochet. So technically speaking, the corners will be 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. You're just going to immediately jump to the next chain 3 space and just put in 3 double crochets into each of those chain 3 spaces. And this helps it block your concept even nicer if you want to do it this way. I would not do too much of a border with the C2C at all, because the actual natural beauty is within the project itself. And so the border, you want it just a nice finishing touch, but you don't necessarily want it to be overkill either. And so you're going to go all the way around, placing 3 double crochet in each of these chain 3 spaces. Corners will be 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and you'll return all the way around. And if you want to add more to the border, be my guest, but I think it would be complete at that point. When you get all the way back around, you're just going to slip stitch to the top of the first chain 3, and then you'll call it quits, unless you want to add any more to it. But it's a really neat concept, and you have your nice pinstriping, and it looks really quite effective, and you're good to go. We hope that you enjoy, and we see you again real soon. Bye-bye.